2010, remember the date like it was yesterday, FBI, SEC raided the company.
Wow.
So they started interviewing you like you're a crook. Why don't you know? Why don't you know?
Steve Moran here with Senior Housing Forum, and one of my favorite parts of coming to conferences like the NIC conference here in San Diego that we're at is I get to meet, of course, old friends, but I get to make new friends and hear about new communities and operations that I didn't know about before. And as many of you know, I live in Northern California, so I'm particularly interested when I talk to somebody who is from the Northern California area. And sometimes I'm actually a little bit embarrassed when I run across somebody who's in Northern California and I didn't even know they exist. So today I am talking to Stephen Ratliff. Oh man, I blew that. To Stefan Ratliff, and your company is?
It's RCLOC, but that's just a company like we use that to acquire other assets, but then each asset has its own individual LLC.
And so you're an operator.
We're operators, yes.
And you're based out of?
Lodi, a facility in Lodi, Yuba City, and Danuba.
Okay. And those are all just since we've got a national audience, those are sort of smaller or mostly agricultural towns in the Central Valley of California. And kind of mild stomping around as I grew up, and so so the levels of care are.
So we started off with high level of care. We started off with 6 beds, so we dealt with like the board and care stuff, and we had to get our hands dirty and do knock shifts and do incontinence care, and got thrown up on. We're active operators, so we learned like the stuff that they don't teach you in these corporate meetings. So, but finish what you're saying. Sorry.
Well, go. So you're doing assisted living now and memory care?
She's doing assisted living and memory care. So then we stepped it up a notch, and we got into a 20-bed high level. We called it a baby SNF, the bridging the gap between the SNFs, the assisted living and a SNF. And so we had nurses 24/7. We're the first facility in our area to have nurses 24/7. But we felt a need, and it was a need. So we sold that, and we bought a bigger facility in Yuba City, and then we bought a facility in Danuba. In Lodi, we just acquired Lodi a month ago, almost 30 days ago.
Oh, terrific. So how did you get into this business?
Real story. Greg and I were working for a hedge fund. That's what I said earlier. It started off like this. We're working for a hedge fund, raising a ton of money. To us, it's a ton of money. It's 27 years old, 28 years old. It's 28 years old when I got recruited by the company, and we did well. And come to find out, the owner was still in money.
Oh man, what a killer!
Yeah. So June 29, 2010, remember the date like it was yesterday. FBI, SEC raided the company.
Wow.
So they started interviewing you like you're a crook. Why don't you know? Why don't you know? And Greg has a famous line. It's like, I didn't start this company. Like he told the FBI and SEC, why didn't you guys know? You were there to protect me. I'm just an employee. So anyhow, we at that moment, your world is crushed. I'm 29 at the time. I have an October birthday, and I was like ready about my parents. They took their house and everything, and I played college sports, so like you have this will, like I'm not going to quit, I'm not going to give up, I'm not going to fight. So at that moment, I just said to myself, no, I was just playing. I just said, I'll never let someone determine if I eat or not. If I don't eat, it's me. Simple as that. No one else make that decision.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
And so, how did you discover senior living?
So, about 2005, I had a real estate license. I acquired a senior living facility that was a rundown facility that was vacant, and then we kind of lost it, and we negotiated a foreclosure back and let them take it over because of the market crash and everything like that. Everyone that was in the market got caught, right? Not everyone. The bottom line was that I was always intrigued, and then I got into I got into doing Medicare insurance after the fund closed down. And then from there, we were just trying to figure out, well, some investors really liked us. They said, you guys are smart guys. I really like you guys. If you figure out something that you want to do that makes sense, I'll invest in you. So that was always in our head, like, what are we going to do? We got to figure this out. We don't want to work for anybody anymore. You know, we want to control. I know what my intentions are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He knows Greg knows his intentions are. You know, so that's why we've been able to keep this relationship so tight. So we got into 6-bed, bought our first 6-bed with, like, I don't know, we bought the business, not the real estate, like 15 grand or something like that. She was ready to get out, sell her finance. She was ready to get out, retire. It went so smooth. We were like, this is easy. This is easy. And then we bought our second 6-bed. And the first day, we acquired ours for $15,000. And the first day, the LPA comes there. The next morning, we just closed. So we didn't close that one. We closed a couple of hours. The LPA gets there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I want to just stop you a second. So LPA are the licensing folks for senior living, for assisted living in California.
Yes, and so I live in Modesto, the place we bought in San Jose. We were just deal hopping. We were just looking for deals. You know what I mean? We weren't really strategizing on the structure of the deals. And we learned a lot since 2010. We learned a lot about management and structure and operations and flow, traffic flow of your deal kind of thing. I don't know if that's a term, but that's what I call it. The OPA calls me 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hey, I live in Modesto. I'm probably 3 hours away from there. He said, I'll wait. So he waited. He stayed there until 8 o'clock at night. We found out that our caregiver was not cleared. We found out that So we had to go rent a caregiver somewhere else and get him. It was just a nightmare. And literally, we got cited like, I don't know, a lot. But through that process, we learned a lot. The LPA, he grinded us out, man. He was there a lot. He was like, I'm going to teach you this, and you're going to learn this stuff. You're just not going to half-ass this. It's not just P&Ls. These are real people.
So it sounded like he was hard on you, yeah, but that he was willing to work with you and help you get better, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because he understood when our first conversation. So like we have a term when we were at the hedge fund and doing sales, lowest common denominator. Like when you meet an investor or whatever, you want to find the lowest common denominator. Anybody, sports, you know what I mean, food, things that you can agree with, or something, whatever. So we figured out the lowest common denominator in our industry was care, health care. If you don't provide care or even care for the people, then you don't have a business. So we said, no, screw all this everything we're hearing, you can't do this, screw that. We're gonna do one thing better than everybody else, and that's care. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Let's not make this difficult. We take care of care, and everything's gonna take care of itself. Yeah. Let's not think about the money. Let's think about how we're gonna feed our family. Or we're gonna feed our family because we're the best at care. That's it. That's it. And that's what we've done. We pride myself on not just caring for my residents, but the people that care for them. It's a circle. I'm not saying it's a Hakuna Matata circle, but it's a circle.
Well, it's kind of a Hakuna Matata circle.
It's a triangle circle. Yeah. So that's what we did, and so the LPA, he saw that in us. So he saw it in us, and from there, we sold that one, and we got. Oh man, we got a little ahead of ourselves. We got into a deal and had a partnership split, and we had a $900,000 personal guarantee on us, and I was like, we have to do this deal. This deal's gonna change our lives. It's a deal of all deals for us. It did change our lives, by the way, in a good and bad, man. We got bailed out by the investor that said he was gonna invest into us at the hedge fund. He bailed us out. $900,000 Shark Tank deal. I love you, AJ. He's a great man, great mentor to me, Greg. He owns about 400 fast food restaurants, and he's meant the world to our business, to us as men. He's a lot older than me, and we've grown together as a partnership. Anyhow, little details in business that the unknown variables. You know what I mean? That you can go to somebody with gray hair, and say, I got A or B. B because this is going to happen. And do it right now. Don't waste any time procrastinating. So anyhow, at the time, this is a cool story. We had a $900,000 personal guarantee. Greg and I didn't have any money. We trying to talk AJ to do a deal with us. He's like, no. So finally, we went. It was like maybe January or end of December, January of 2012, 2013, January 2013. We had a choice to make. We were just trying to sell the business. Let's just sell the business at $80,000. We just move on, and then the landlord won't. He can just resell the building. We give him $20,000, and we done. Right? Everyone's done. Everyone's paid. Everyone's happy. Right?
Yeah.
Literally, we had to make a decision. We had to show the building between the PG, the water, and the electricity. And we said, well, we need internet and lights to show the building. so we shut the water off. And when people would come and look at the building, we're like, oh, we don't really, the water's off. We don't really, no one's here that much. And we just set ourselves and said, great, we're gonna show up here every day until we figure it out. We got internet, we got lights. Every day we showed up. Wives are mad, like, where are you going? They're not making any money. It's the football in us, the sports in us. We show up. Finally, AJ closed a deal with us, and we sold our San Jose one so we can focus on where the money was. Now, San Jose was doing okay for us, but we wanted to focus, and we got bailed out. All our attention needs to be on this project, and it was. And we learned how to do brochures and websites and like pins and nitty gritty stuff, man. We learned everything from that facility. We learned everything. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, man. I know it's an interview, but
Are you kidding? This is one of the greatest interviews I've ever done. This is a great story. I love this.
So, and then from there, we realized that the funny part, some people were like, this is going back to care, right? They would say, come to our building, old building, built in 1962, like an old SNF, 10 bedrooms. People were saying, you're not going to get $2,000, you're going to get $2,000 here. Now we did the renovations and everything a little bit. It's like, you're not going to get $2,000 for this. Per room, you're not even talking about shared rooms. And I said, you know what? I raised $16 million when I was freaking 27 years old. We care about something you don't care about. We treat every resident and every family like a freaking investor. They invested in us to care for them.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna separate us.
Yeah.
And I was just like, let's go, charge us for like, ready, set, hut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go. You know what I mean? I was ready, you know what I mean? And we did. We actually, we took that. That's when we did the 24-hour nursing with nurses. We ran a baby SNF. We took it from the worst, like a rundown, closed down facility with AJ's help and his tutelage about these little details. And we learned how to be operators. We learned how to flow. We learned the flow of traffic. We learned how to run a bigger operation, a more complex operation. We were dealing with real medical stuff there. Literally, we had people in hospice for 18 months. We saved lives there because we had nurses there. You know what I mean? And we got rated by senior advisors as one of the best facilities in the nation. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, when we sold that, we sold it. We had 13 residents and $83,000 a month.
Wow. That's a great story.
It took time.
Yep.
But we believed in our process. We believe that we got to set the process. Believe in the processes. You got to believe in yourself. Me and Greg talk about this all the time, man. Like, it doesn't take one person you believe in is you, man. All this outside stuff is just you. You believe in you, man. You all right, man. And so that's our attitude. Like, hey, we believe in ourselves. We bet on ourselves all the time. We do sweat equity deals. These deals are sweat equity deals. No money. No money. Tell your wife, I got a 3-year-old son that I'm not getting paid until this deal is over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's an amazing story. So this is your first time here at Nick.
Sorry. Yeah, it's the first time, man. Sorry about this. It's a real story to me. It's a real story to me, man.
Let me tell you.
To me,
this is an amazing story.
There's other people out there have the same story, though.
So it's so cool, right? Because I don't hear these kinds of stories very often, honestly. So there are two things I want to ask you because that I want to get to with you. So the first thing is, and when Greg, your partner, we were actually passing on that escalator. I was going up and he was coming down. And I was close to the bottom, so he came around and rode the escalator back up, and we got to talking. He told me a little bit, not anything like this, but he told me a little bit of the story.
He's a fan.
So yeah, so when he started telling me, it's like, I have to tell you. And one of the reasons, honestly, as I told you guys earlier, that I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to do an interview with you. I didn't know you had this amazing story, which is much better than this part. Was that we don't have a lot of diversity from an ownership operators. There's some. But so, what's it feel like being African American in this place where everybody's white?
I grew up in Patterson, went to an all-white school. I was a black quarterback. So for me, is that I've seen the process. I've seen people change. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen people be more tolerant and accepting, and have more love in their heart. I think if you strip everything away and just say, I care about you, nothing else matters. You know what I mean? And I think most people just care about a few things. They care about the kids, their family, you know what I mean? And if you show them that you care about them, their kids, and their family, I think we can get along, you know what I mean? Regardless of differences. I mean, and that's just me. I've seen a lot. I don't need to go back and tell that story, but I've seen a lot, you know, and somebody that's seen a lot should may harbor some ill will, right? But nah, this is about, man, it's about love, man. Yep. You know what I mean? I think that's also why our business has been successful, because we don't make it about that. We make it about the community. Yep. We want to be about the community, so we want to hire within the community. We want to support the people in the community. But yeah, so being different, I've been different all my life. I've always wanted more.
So I got one more question for you here. You guys are looking for deals, looking for capital, right?
Looking for deals. We always look for deals, capital partnerships. So far we found every one of our deals. I have my real estate background, so we vet everything. We do the renovations. I have a little construction background. We do some stuff, and Greg sets up the marketing strategy, how we're going to market, stuff like that. And we brainstorm for hours on the little details. We'll just be talking. We'll talk maybe about a deal. Back and forth. We'll be questioning each other, probing each other. And now he trusts my math. Like I'm pretty good with the numbers. I'm pretty good with being able to quick math and see if it's something we need to make an offer on. But it's always great to meet people that understand this industry. Not just investors, but operators that actually invest too, because the details. And our industry is changing, man. I don't want to be where it's at. I want to be where it's going. Where's it going? Like, how are we going to take care of elderly people that can't afford it?
That is the big question.
We got people paying $7,000 in memory care. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man, where's it going, man? We got to figure out a better system, better structure, something that actually, they can't take care of themselves. So we have to figure it out. You know what I mean? And they can't go back home because the kids are working. So we have to put our heads together and figure out a solution, man. Everyone's just, I feel like me being 38, I'm gonna be in this business for another 20, 30 years. And everyone else is like, that's not my problem. You know what I mean?
But it is yours.
It is my problem.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out, people my age, we got to figure it out, man. Because it's going to be our problem. If we want to stay in this industry, stay making money, stay feeding our family, and providing for our loved ones, we got to figure it out. And we can't put our head in it's not an obstacle. Everything that we've done in business, me and Greg, we faced it head on. Never lied to a family, never lied to our caregivers. You can check our reviews. We face everything head on. We don't walk away. And this problem right here, I feel like California, it'll figure itself out. No, it won't figure it out. Everything doesn't figure itself out. You gotta figure it out. You gotta put your feet down, put your brains together, and you gotta brainstorm and have real solutions that you can freaking execute.
Stefan, this is one of the best interviews I've ever done. Your story is so compelling. Your compassion is compelling. I'm so glad I had the serendipitous moment ran by Greg and you guys agreed to do this. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Smile.